Hi, welcome to 002 of the podcast podium. This is Denise Holland, and I'm delighted that we're going to share the next 10 minutes together. So this session is one of two. The next track, 003, is also about a quiet mind and how that looks to me as a coach when we're in competition, challenging circumstances, and one might say under pressure. So during this session, I'd like to focus on coaching rather than the athletes and the team and the performance. And what I found when I was the national coach for Scotland during a 4.5 year period in the role was that I was trying to find a way in which to take the emotion out of my coaching. And I remember being courtside and really looking to see if I could show up with a clearer mind, because sometimes anxiety level would get quite heightened, and I saw in the moment that I'm not at my best when my mind is really cluttered and there's a lot going on in my mind. I'm not able to see as clear as I might. I might just miss things because I am emotionally involved and invested in the game. So I wanted to take the emotion out of my coaching. And it wasn't really until after I left my role that I realised there was something going on here with how the mind works to create our experience that would really help me. And if it could help me, it could help everyone in that coaching role. Because I think that how it is that we are in those times of competition and even at training determines how effective we can be as coaches. It's no great surprise to people that when we take a walk or we go to the beach that we our minds quieten down, and when we're there, things just occur to us, and we seem to get our best ideas, don't we, when we're either in the shower or we're driving to work, or on a Sunday afternoon we're having a nice stroll. So when it comes to performance, it seems quite relevant to me that the quieter our minds inside, or at least the speed at which our mind is working, the velocity, if you like, of how our mind is working, if that's reduced, then we're going to have every access and possibility to seeing things fresh and to have things occur to us. When I was in international competition, I did notice that the more ramped up my mind was, and now I see that that's the more ramped up my thinking was, with personal investment in the outcome and how they played, the less likely it was for me to be able to see what was really going on. And the less going on in my mind, the more able I was to come up with great ideas to solve problems on the court, make selection decisions, change positions around, play to our strengths, exploit the opposition's weaknesses. But that wasn't always available to me. The only difference I could see is my level of anxiety or my level of stress and investment into the outcome and how they played as a team. And now I see that there's something that I can understand about how the mind works, which would quieten that all down. And I don't have to do anything with it. I don't have to apply any tools or techniques to control, manage and manipulate the noise in my mind. There's something that I can see and understand that would change my relationship to the noise in my head, such that it just goes, it just dissipates. And as that happens, I come back to balance, I come back to calm and a much more productive state of mind. So in a quieter mind, it would seem that I was very much more able to see what was going on court. It's as if my perceptual field expanded relative to how quiet my mind was. I can remember coaching the Brunel Hurricanes as the coach for the Glasgow Wildcats in the first year of the England Super League. And I kind of didn't have anything on the match because I knew so much about them. They were my old team. So I wasn't really out to prove myself or to be, to really get them. I didn't have that type of psychology. I was more coming from a place of, well, this is going to be a great game. And I had a lot of respect for the game and for the players on both sides. At half time, we were winning by 5. 3/4 time, I think we were 5 up, and they came back, and at 8 minutes to go, it was 41 all. And the opposition, the Hurricanes, called an injury break. And at that time, you're allowed to make a change. I had such clarity. I just thought, wow, our shooters are on fire. Let's just give them some more service. And so I changed our wing defence, and I put on court a player who doesn't really ever play wing defence, but I knew that type of situation needed, 1, her body type, and 2, I knew I could give her a very specific job to do on court and she would go on and do it. And so for 8 minutes, I said to her, I want you to go on and shut down the movements to the circle edge of the wing attack. And she went on court and she did that as a wing defence. And it caused such disruption in the opposition that we did win much more possession, which we managed to convert because our shooters were really shooting very well. And we won the game. I think the score was 45-41. It was like the underdog had gone in and won a game against one of the top 4 sides in the England Super League, which was full of England players. I remember it really well because I had such clarity. It was instinctive. I didn't think about. We had like 15 seconds, not even that, to make a decision when the opposition called time. And I just had wisdom just came up, and I had this idea, and it came from nowhere. That didn't happen to me very often when I was coaching. If I was anxious, if I had personal investment in the performance. And let's be honest, coaches really want their teams to win. Managers want their football teams to win. But there's a big difference, and there's a distinction between loving the sport and wanting your team to win versus loving the sport, wanting your team to win, and it saying something about you as a person. If you believe that the outcome of the match has anything to do with you as a human being, your self-worth, then your levels of anxiety are going to be a lot higher. So if coaches can really connect with who and what they are as spiritual beings having a human experience, perfect, with nothing that needs fixing, nothing that needs to happen on the outside in terms of outcomes, then they're free. They're psychologically free to show up and coach those athletes in that performance and see what they can create. There's this oneness, this love of the sport. It's not personal. It's impersonal. It's not invested. It's just simply involved. It's a bit like when you're a child. You can see children just play. They have nothing on it. They just love playing. They connect. They communicate. They have fun. But as somewhere along the line, they learn that they're not enough, that there's something that they need to have happen on the outside of them. They need to start winning matches, otherwise they don't feel very good as a person. And that's a misunderstanding. And we carry that through into our professional and performance lives, that somehow the outcome of the match, the outcome of the performance, the outcome of the competition somehow says something about us as a human being. And that's not true. There is a part of us which is constant, unchanging, completely reliable, that has nothing to do with what it is we achieve in this world. It's part of the design of the human being, which is beyond the intellect. It points to the fact that two cells make a human being, and everything that goes on within the function of the human body and mind. It's the energy and the beat of the heart, but not the heart. And it's completely unattached to anything that we can achieve, anything that we have, anything that we do as human beings in this world of form. Yet somehow we're conditioned to believing that the things that we achieve validate us as human beings. And that's the misunderstanding. That's what clutters our minds. That's what makes it really noisy. That's what prevents us from having clarity and freedom of mind, especially at times when we need it most. Understanding this allows people to get the best out of themselves and the most out of every living minute. You learn to leverage the human condition in a way which completely transforms performance results. So I hope you've enjoyed this session, certainly in the series called Podium, Spiritual Truths Behind Elite Sports Performance. We'll be going deeper into this area of how the human mind works to create our human experience. How we can leverage this understanding, how it is that people can transcend what it is they feel in a nanosecond, as soon as they see it for what it is. How can we connect with our innate mental health and our inner resilience? How is it that human beings have this capacity to have a change of heart? Then we learn to show up in a way which is really productive and highly effective. It prevents us from suffering. It prevents you from suffering. It starts to eliminate mental illness, which has become quite prevalent in sport in the modern day. So I hope you stay with the conversation. If you want to get in touch with me, you can contact me on denise.holland@class-performance.com. Or you can look at my website, www.class-performance.com. That just leaves me to wish you a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.